Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Great to be here with everybody covering for Coach Carl today, but lucky for me, this makes my third class with you guys. I was helping out with a little Friday yoga last Friday, third class for me in a week. I'm feeling great when I really give the time to my body to do these stretches, these movements, and really commit to them. They leave me feeling great. And when I've done them 3 in a week, I notice I'm feeling great. And so that's just a reminder to really attend to these practices. And especially, I think, as the weather's changing, we were just chatting a little bit before the class, runny noses, getting cold, changes in temperature, good time of the year to practice this mindfulness that we always talk about, paying attention to what's going on in our body. In the spring, we might have allergies. Height of the summer, we're worrying about heat. As we're traveling, going into the deeper parts of the winter here, things are getting cold. Good time to pay attention to our health, drinking plenty of water, taking our good vitamins, eating healthy, but our workouts as well, generating that inner heat, working our body up is going to be great for helping us deal with the transition into the cold. So I know I'm paying extra attention to this kind of class, this kind of movement as we're getting into the colder months here. That's what we're doing together today. Hopefully, if you've been with me before, you know the basic lineup. We'll start off with the warm-up. We got a couple rounds of exercises out of our chair, transitioning into some standing movements, and then finishing off today with a lovely mindfulness meditation based on a poem today. I'll talk you through all of that if you happen to be new, but if you've been here before, you know the rhythm, you know what we're looking for. Gentleness, kindness to our body, listening to our body, aware of what's going on in our body throughout these movements. And as we're ready to push ourselves a little bit, as we're warmed up, feeling energized, then we really start to give ourselves to these movements, and that's going to get us a great workout. So great to be here with everybody. One thing I loved, I was helping out covering a little bit of yoga work last Friday, was starting off with some deep breathing. So as part of our warm up, I figured we'd start off with a little deep breathing. Similarly, great way to start our workout. And we're going to borrow a particular move from Bikram yoga, hot yoga. And this is where I learned this. Great way to start off our workouts with a breathing practice. What we're going to do is fold our hands, so interlock our fingers, place them gently beneath our chin, and then we're going to inhale. And as we inhale, we're going to let our elbows float up nice and gently. And then as we exhale, we're going to push our head back gently and bring our elbows together. Inhale, coming back forward, arms are going to go up, deep in through the nose. Exhale, letting the head drop back, bringing the elbows forward. Deep inhale through the nose, let the elbows rise up. Exhale, head coming back, elbows coming forward. Deep inhale through the nose, elbows floating up into the air. Exhale, leaning back, elbows coming forward. Another couple on your own. Find a good rhythm. Deep inhale. Exhale, leaning back. Fully exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale fully. One more, ear together. Exhale fully. Okay, let those arms drop to the side nice and gently. Always shaking things out in between, finding our good posture again, sitting nice and strong on the chair. Good posture, chest open, back flat, standing up nice and tall through the crown of our, sitting up nice and tall through the crown of our head. Let's start to get our neck working a little bit more. So we're just going to do some looks. We'll look over to the left, over to the right, gentle stretch this way, Nice slow reps, looking over to the right shoulder, coming back over to the left. Steady breathing throughout, good posture. Just getting the neck warmed up. Going a little bit deeper into the stretch each time, but only to where we're comfortable. Excellent. 2 more here over to the left. 1 more over to the right. Let's go into ups and downs. So now looking down gently, looking up, letting the head fall back gently, going deeper into the stretch each time. Always finding our posture again. Mindful throughout that we're sitting nice and tall. Our feet are flat on the floor. Our posture is engaged and energized. Let's do 2 more here, looking down gently and looking up. Excellent, good. Shake everything out, roll everything out if you need to, always getting loose, getting comfortable in between all our movements, moving down the body, warming up the shoulders, the arms, the back a little bit. We're gonna imagine we're just doing steeples. So thinking a little church steeples, can be small at first. And then as we get warmed up, we're going to go up a little bit higher, bigger steeple. As we're getting warmed, that steeple will get bigger and bigger. But just nice, steady reps here for now. And then we can start working a little taller. Make sure those palms are coming together. We're breathing steadily. Arms all the way back on this. Trying to get to more of a full extension by the end of this. Arms reaching all the way overhead. Let's do a few more reps together. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Shaking things out, getting loose, feeling happy, big smiles, deep breathing all throughout our workout. We're feeling great this morning, getting us nice and warm for this cold weather. We're going to do some instrument playing. We've done this before. So let's just start playing piano together. Imagine there's a big piano in front of you. You're hitting all the keys, using all the fingers. Get the hands and the wrists going. If you know some music, you could imagine you're playing one of your favorite pieces. Bach, Stevie Wonder, whoever it is, whatever you like to listen to. Imagine you're playing some of that good music, getting into the vibe, getting into the rhythm. Getting those fingers all warmed up. Try different sides. Come out here to the left. Playing all the way up top now. Nice high bits. Coming down low to the bass again. Feeling good, playing music, keeping it happy. Coming into the center. Keeping those fingers involved. Moving out to the side. Let's go for a few more seconds here. This is the finale. Push through. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's our piano playing for the day. Moving along, staying nice and warm. We're going to do a little violin playing. So a nice big violin out to the side here. Maybe it's a fiddle, viola. I'm not sure which particular instrument. But this is getting our back, our shoulders, our wrists warmed up. Think about how your fingers are being held. And then let's make sure we can play both ways. We're going to do our violin on the right side here. Maybe we're doing Vivaldi's Four Seasons. We're in the winter part. Just getting warm. Different kinds of movements here. And good. Let those arms fall gently to the side. Let's come forward to the center of our, to the front of our chair. One more movement here. Just getting the lower body starting to get warmed up. We're going to do toe taps. So just let me move back a little bit. With the left leg, we'll just come out to the left, reaching out in front, reaching out across the body. And let's just stay with that, going at your own pace, going to the distance that you can reach comfortably. Reaching out, touching with the toes, keeping our good posture throughout, and breathing steadily. Good. Let's go with the right leg now. So we're going to reach out to the right, out front, across the left side, across the front of the body. Out to the right, out front, across the body. Getting all the hip muscles warmed up. Getting the toes and the ankles moving. Full body warm up here. Let's switch to the left side again one more time. Left leg out, coming out in front, across the body. Okay, one more time with the right leg. Coming out front, reaching across the body, out to the right. Excellent. Pause there, coming back to center. Good time to grab a drink of water. Always good to stay hydrated. Excellent. Now we're going to do our couple rounds of seated exercises here. So we got 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. You know the pattern. Great way to structure any workout. I use it all the time. We have 5 exercises we're going to do here. We're going to do a leg extension and a reach overhead, alternating each time. So nice, good squeeze in the quad, reaching overhead at the same time. If you're still getting warmed up and you want to hold off with the reach part, you could just do a nice quad extension for now. Nice leg extension, squeezing in that big quadricep muscle. That's the main part of the movement. Adding in the reach just makes it a little bit more dynamic. Good way to increase the difficulty. Second move, we're going to do our dragon dance. We're going to keep our palms together and we're going to let the elbows go, floating around, getting all the movement in our shoulders, our wrists, our elbows, improvisational dance-like nice flow to that one. Third move is going to be clamshells, pushing out with those big hip muscles, pushing in with the chest muscles, really working those legs. Third movement is going to be alternating push away. So we're going to push up and down, really imagining, thinking about the movement coming from the middle of our spine, from our back, extending and stretching through that area. And then the fifth movement will be calf raises, coming up onto our calf muscles, pushing down and resisting a bit if we can, with our hands, with our shoulders, pushing down, adding a little bit more resistance to the calf movement. Those are our 5 exercises, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Let's get ready to jump into these in 3, 2, 1. And we got nice leg extensions with an overhead reach at the same time, alternating. Good squeeze in the quad muscle. That's that big thigh muscle right on top, reaching up overhead. If you're still getting warmed up and want to just take your time and just do the leg extensions, that's fine for now. We can work to the bigger movement in a little bit. But if you're with me and feeling nice and warm, great little extra movement to add. Opposite arm going up with the opposite leg. Let's work for 5 here. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That is our first exercise, leg extension with a reach overhead. In 20 seconds, we're going to do a dragon dance. Good posture. Our palms are going to come together and we're going to move and follow the tail of that dragon. A little bit of a move coming out of Qigong here. Get the elbows involved, the wrist, the shoulder. Think about all the different ways those different joints can relate. Getting nice and fluid and improvisational with this. Starting in tight and then expanding out as we warm up. Let's go into that in 3, 2, 1. So just starting with a nice, gentle rhythm. Make sure those palms stay together. And then as we go, think about all the different ways you can move the wrists, the elbows, getting the whole shoulder girdle complex warmed up, getting the wrists and the elbows working together with that. Feel all the different muscles moving. And let's work for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That is our second exercise. Next up will be clamshells. I'm bringing my legs a little bit closer in towards the center, making sure I'm towards the front of my chair, pushing out against the chest muscles. Chest muscles are pushing in, pushing out with those powerful hip muscles, glute muscles. As we open up our legs, my feet are staying planted, the knees open up. And we'll jump into that in 3, 2, 1. Really imagine those hip muscles working. I always talk about that mind-muscle connection. Really make the muscles work. We could activate large muscles very intensely just with our mind. Let's work for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's our third movement, really focusing on the hips, but getting the chest involved as we push in, keeping good posture throughout. Next move is going to be alternating push-aways. So we're going to push down and push up, and then push down and push up. Not getting to full extension, it's not about getting to full extension with the arms. Think about getting to full extension with the spine, with the back, extending nice and tall through your body. That's the sort of feeling we're looking for. Let's jump into that together in 3, 2, 1. Pushing up, alternating push-aways. Really thinking about the movement coming from the back, the middle back, the thoracic spine, the shoulders. Not so much about the elbows or the wrists or the triceps or the biceps. Thinking about the shoulder and the back muscles. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. With that one, speed's not important. A really deep extension at the shoulders, at the back. That's what we're looking for, staying nice and tall. Our fifth movement, one of my favorites, calf raises. Calves, those second heart muscles, helping to push all the blood back up our body, helping that circulatory system. We're going to work those nice and strong by coming up onto our toes and resisting with our hands pushing down. Nice full extension up onto the toes. Let's jump into that together in 3, 2, 1. So pushing up, coming up fully onto those toes, coming back down, pushing up fully onto the toes, coming back down, working nice and hard together. Good squeeze in the calf muscles. Bit more work here for our first round. Pushing hard with those calf muscles for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That is our first round of exercises. Great time to grab a little drink of water, take some deep breaths. Always taking a break if you need it. Pushing yourself through when you feel ready and engaged to do so. We're taking a little break. We'll come back. We got our 5 exercises: the leg extension with overhead reach, dragon dance, clamshells, alternating pushaways, and then our calf raises. Great first round, guys. On the second round, always a good idea to think about pushing a little bit harder, squeezing a little bit more on those movements, picking up the pace a little bit more on some of them, always reminding yourself of good posture, deep breathing throughout. And of course, we want those big smiles on our faces. This workout's helping us to feel great. So let's get back right into our second round. We're starting off with the leg extension with an overhead reach, if that's feeling good for you right now. And we'll jump in 3, 2, 1. Nice squeeze in that big quadricep muscle, top of the thigh. Nice reach overhead, feeling the back muscles, shoulder muscles all engaged on the reach overhead. As we do the reach, that makes us engage our core a little bit more. Maybe you notice that the core muscles have to engage to keep you upright a bit, to keep that posture locked in. That's why we add movements like this to some of our exercises. A way of challenging the whole body a little bit more. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. In 20 seconds, we're doing that dragon dance, starting off with good posture, sitting upright, palms are coming together, and think about all the ways the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder can be in relation to each other. Explore all of that, get it all nice and warmed up. That's what this dragon dance is doing for us. Let's do that together in 3, 2, 1. Starting in tight. Feeling all the shoulder, back, wrist, elbow muscles involved, and then getting wider, bigger with the movements. As we maintain our posture, we could come out more in front, bring it down low. Explore the parts of the movement that feel good and engaging. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Returning to a nice center position. That good posture. Clamshells are up next, bringing the feet a little bit in towards each other. The feet sort of roll open as the knees open wide, using those hip muscles. But we got good posture everywhere else, pushing in with those big, powerful chest muscles to add a little extra intensity to the movement. Let's jump into it in 3, 2, 1. Let's go for 5. Pause in 2, 1. Excellent. That's our third movement. Coming up next, alternating pushaways, extending through our spine, extending through our back, lifting the crown of our head nice and high as we push away. That's where the movement's coming from, the center of our body. Let's do those alternating pushaways in 3, 2, 1. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. One more movement here. We got our calf raises. Pushing up nice and hard, squeezing those calf muscles, using that mind muscle connection to engage the bottom half of our legs here, the calf and ankle muscles. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Pushing up nice and tall, coming back down. All the way up onto the toes. And deep breathing throughout, everybody. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, everybody. We're going to transition into standing up. So find a good, comfortable standing position while I adjust my camera slightly. Okay, as we always know with our standing movements, we got our chair nice and close for support if we need it. But we're working to get independent of that and to be a little bit away from it as we go. 5 movements here. I think all these are pretty familiar to us. We're going to start off with 40 seconds of marches, getting those elbows and knees nice and high. Second movement is going to be that dragon dance out of a nice deep squat. So we'll get nice and rhythmic with that dragon dance. Third move will be a squat. So we could use the chair in different ways. I'll talk you through that when we get to it. Fourth move is going to be our bow and arrow. So out of a nice wide squat stance. Imagining pulling that nice strong bow and arrow, looking through our aim out to the side. Good form there. Fifth move will be a balance and hold. One option is just to hang out up here with the leg off the ground, hopefully getting it to 90-90. If you feel good enough to hold it up nice and strong with the same side arm and to stand there, this will be another option for us, knowing we always have the chair. But standing nice and tall, pulling that leg in, if that's comfortable for you. If that's not going to work, don't feel like you're quite up to it yet, then just nice balance stance there will do just as well for us today. So we got those 5 exercises, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. We know what we're doing. Let's get into some nice, strong marches in 3, 2, 1. Elbow coming up nice and high. Knee coming up nice and high. Opposite arms working with the opposite leg. Go for 3, 2, 1. Excellent first exercise there. Just a reminder, you could always have that chair in front of you. I stand off to the side so you could see me, see the movement. But if you feel comfortable having that chair right in front of you for grabbing, that's fine. I'm not looking at you doing the moves. I just want you to be able to see me. So our next move is going to be our nice dragon dance. So we're going to come into a nice squat, bring those palms together, and then work the movement. I'll come more towards the center here. And let's get into that in 3, 2, 1. So nice wide half quarter squat stance here. And then getting back into that dragon dance. Feel all the different parts, both sides of the both shoulders equally, both sides of the back, both wrists, both elbows. Make sure everything's feeling involved. Come down nice and low. You can reach up high. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Our third movement is going to be our squat. Crucial movement, one of the most important. We could use our chair to help us balance ourselves, and we could pull away from that as we feel more confident and comfortable. And so let's get into that in 3, 2, 1. Using that chair to support us if we need it, but coming away from it as we feel more confident. Maybe we get a few reps without the support, and then if we feel a little tired, need the support again, we could always come back to that chair. Listening to what our body needs, learning what our body needs is what these workouts are about. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, everybody. Next up is going to be our nice bow and arrow movement. We're going to get into a nice quarter squat here. If the legs are feeling tired and you want to just stand straight up, you could definitely do that as well. We've got a few leg movements here, but we're going to do our nice bow and arrow pull, looking through our hands as if it's our nice sight, really feeling the strength of the back muscles, engaging all those back muscles. Really imagine pulling that bow as we do this. So if you're with me down here in a nice squat, let's go 3, 2, 1. Let's go here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Last up is going to be a balance and hold. So we could have that chair right next to us for support. First goal is try to get to 90 degrees of the knee, ankle, all those joints, trying to get that nice and high, but really anywhere off the ground you can get it is good for me. If that feels good to you, we've done balance work a lot recently. If you're feeling strong or a lot together, try to go for a pull in with the left arm, pulling that knee nice and tight, and then a nice standing hold from there. That pushes you to get the back muscles involved, to really hold that leg in and engage the core muscles to stand tall. You got the chair for support here. Let's try just the normal balance to start. And then if you feel like you're nice and strong, go for that leg pull in. And I'll join you along the way. Going together in 3, 2, 1. So just starting off with a nice balance hold. Done this before. Got the chair for support. Legs up at 90-90. But if we've done this a lot and you're feeling strong, go for a leg pull in. So grab in front of the shin with that left arm. Hold nice and strong with the back and shoulder on the left side. Still holding nice and strong with that chair if we need, but if you could open that arm up, standing nice and tall, that's a great position to get to. Wherever you are, whatever part of the balance you're in, hang there for 3 more seconds. 2, 1, and let's pause. Excellent. That was our first round. Take a little break. We'll work the second round and we'll work the right side with that balance work. Great movement so far. Great work, everybody. Good time to grab a quick drink of water. Staying hydrated throughout our workouts. And let's get back into our second set before our meditation here. We got some nice marches for 40 seconds, coming nice and high in 3, 2, 1. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's our first move. Next up, nice improvisational, energize, engage dragon dance. We're coming down to a nice wide squat. If the legs are feeling good, you can do the standing if you need to. We're bringing the palms together. Let's jump into it together in 3, 2, 1. Starting in nice and tight. And then going deeper into the parts of the movement as we go while we're keeping the palms together. Coming out to a side, hitting the other side. Lots of options here, lots of room to explore. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Next up is going to be our squat. Using that chair if we need to, stepping away from it as we feel confident. Let's go together in 3, 2, 1. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Great work, everybody. 2 more movements before our meditation here. Let's finish strong together. We're going to do our bow and arrows. Out of a squat position, if you're still feeling good with that. If legs are getting tired, definitely fine to do it out of the standing. But if you're with me here, let's get into a nice squat position. Let's get into our bow and arrows. Off to the right side first. Feel that nice strong pose. Feel the strength across the back muscles. Feel the pull with the arm that's doing the pull. Feel the push with the arm that's doing the push. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. One more move here. Our second balance hold. Coming to the right side now. I did my left leg up first. Coming to the right side, lifting that right leg up, hopefully to 90-90. That's what we're aiming for. But if it's just off the ground a bit, that's fine too. We're all growing at our own pace. If we feel strong and confident, we could go for a nice leg hold, standing nice and tall, extending that left arm out. That's a great position to hold. But we got options along the way that we know. Let's try to hold whatever option's challenging us, but comfortable for the start. And we'll go together in 3, 2, 1. So first position is just that nice strong balance. And then if you're feeling really confident with that, go for a hold in front of the shin. Still using that chair for balance, for support when we need it. And then if you can feel really confident and you reach out, standing, supporting ourselves. Sometimes I even need the help of the chair, but this is a great position to hold. Really engage that right shoulder, right back muscles, pulling in the leg, Core muscles engaged, standing nice and tall. 5 more seconds on this. We'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Let that leg come down to the floor gently, and you could return comfortably to your chair. Start to slow down your breathing and prepare for meditation. Okay, in the chat, I have dropped a poem, both the text of the poem and hopefully a link to the poem that will work. You've been with us before. This is one of my favorite kinds of meditation, common to many of the great contemplative meditative traditions throughout the world. A mantra meditation, the meditation on a sacred word or sound or phrase. Very often these come out of the sacred scriptures of the different traditions. Very often a student might be given a word or a sound or a phrase. Sometimes a word or a sound or a phrase is discovered. Lots of variation on this. But then very often the next impulse is to gently repeat that along with our breathing in some way. And sometimes the hope is to fall just into a deep, quiet, soundless repetition, meditation on that word. Sometimes eventually we hope to let go of the word and just dwell in the silence, and the word is a pathway to that silence. Lots of options here with meditation. So often to me, there's no right or wrong. There's just you having an experience. I love to use this with contemporary poetry. I think it strikes our ear nicely and our heart as well. And so that's what we'll practice today. Certainly a practice you could bring to your own favorite poetry, your own favorite readings. If you have a tradition you feel comfortable in practicing, bring this to that. You could take some of the sacred scriptures you might have, anything, whatever it is, listen for a word or phrase that strikes you, repeat it gently to yourself, and have a nice contemplative experience. So in this particular version, I will read this poem called The Quiet Listeners by Laura Foley. I was watching the trees beautifully just rain down their leaves this morning. And I thought this would be a nice poem to accompany this end of our fall season here as it's coming to a close beautifully. And so I'll read that poem once just to get a sense of what's happening in the poem. Then I'll read it a second time. And I'd invite you then to listen for a word or phrase that strikes your heart in some way. Doesn't need to be the right answer. It doesn't need to be the word or phrase that you think is most important, or that you think I want to hear, or that you think you need. Surrender yourself just to listening and being affected, being struck, being hit. That's so often what I think for me, the spiritual life is like: revelation, inbreaking. The deepest spiritual experiences I have sort of break into me. And practicing just being open to a poem is a beautiful way of preparing ourselves for that everywhere in our life. So I'll read the poem once just for content, read it twice when I'll invite you to listen for a word or phrase that strikes your heart in some way. And then for a few minutes on your own, I'd invite you to gently repeat that word or phrase with your breathing. Find a nice steady rhythm, once on the in-breath, once on the out-breath, maybe 2 or 3 times on each breath, whatever feels comfortable and falls into place naturally, and stick with that for a number of minutes before I read the poem once more for closing. And so let's start by just finding a good contemplative meditative posture. I'm sitting cross-legged. I enjoy this more and more recently in my life, but generally feet flat on the floor, upright posture, nice supported back is a good place to start. And then we just want to begin by taking a deep breath in through our nose. Allow the stomach to expand on the in-breath. And then gently exhale out of the mouth. Let any distractions float away like a cloud on a summer day, just gently floating away from you. And then ready your ear to listen to The Quiet Listeners by Laura Foley. Go into the woods and tell your story to the trees. They are wise, standing in their folds of silence among white crystals of rock and dying limbs. And they have time for the swaying of leaves, the floating down, the dust. They have time for gathering and holding the earth about their feet. Do this. It is something I have learned, how they will bend down to you softly. They will bend down to you and listen. And now I'll read the poem once more, and this time I invite you to listen or look, if you're looking at the text, for a word or phrase that grabs you in some way. Go into the woods and tell your story to the trees. They are wise, standing in their folds of silence among white crystals of rock and dying limbs. And they have time for the swaying of leaves, the floating down, the dust. They have time for gathering and holding the earth about their feet. Do this. It is something I have learned, how they will bend down to you softly. They will bend down to you and listen. So now whatever word or phrase struck you, gently repeat it with your breathing for the next few minutes. And you can gently begin to return to full awareness, opening your eyes, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Continuing to breathe deeply. And we can close in gratitude with one more reading of The Quiet Listeners by Laura Foley. Go into the woods and tell your story to the trees. They are wise, standing in their folds of silence among white crystals of rock and dying limbs. And they have time. Time for the swaying of leaves, the floating down, the dust. They have time for gathering and holding the earth about their feet. Do this. It is something I have learned, how they will bend down to you softly. They will bend down to you and listen. And so when we experience a mantra meditation, any kind of meditation, it's great just to have the experience. And then afterwards, it is good to bring a little analysis sometimes, to notice, what did I notice? What was coming up in my heart? What was coming up in my mind? What was distracting me? What was comforting me? What made sense? What was unclear? And just noticing those things. And that's data for our spiritual life, for our emotional life. Where did my mind keep going in that meditation? Well, that might be significant. That might be important, or maybe it's not. No final answers, no sort of right or wrong, but it's an experience that we try to open ourselves up to, followed by some sense of, what did that mean? What does it mean for my life? Why is it important? And my phrase today was time for gathering. Gathering is one of my favorite spiritual images from many of the great traditions. Gathering crops is part of sort of a spiritual metaphor, but the spiritual figures who are gatherers, who bring people together, who gather communities. And we have a nice gathered community here. We get together from different parts of the country, of the world, and we come together for a beautiful practice. And it's great to be here with you all. And I love that we spend time gathering each other and gathering together. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope to gather with you again sometime soon. And I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from NORC. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.